Okay, hang on, folks. I am doing two things here. Welcome, Facebookers and YouTube. Trying things at the same time tonight. I have YouTube on my Chromebook and I have Facebook on my phone camera. So if I look this way or that way, it's just because I'm trying to do this two different ways tonight. Um, Please respond, chat. Let me know you guys are here. I will do my best to read the comments, but sometimes I get a little chatty, and I have a really important topic to talk about. I've been MIA for a while, just haven't been finding my spiritual groove. I apologize for that. And this topic is close to my heart. I wasn't going to talk about it because I've been kind of let's see what the comments here. Uh Comment on here if you're I'm trying to see who's watching. You're supposed to be able to like swipe left. Okay, somebody comment so I can see that I'm actually doing something. I wasn't going to talk about this publicly, but then spirit kind of gave me the courage to do that today. So the topic is, and kind of like what I've been going through in my relationship and in my life lately is waiting for the body to trust the mind. So let that kind of sink in. Say it out loud to yourself if you have to. But the topic is waiting for the body to trust the mind. Now, I've been going through some, what I want to call it, like a blah phase after me and my husband reconnected. And hello, somebody's watching. Hello, hello, hello. After me and my husband's separation last year, he moved out in May and we reconnected and we got back together this fall. So this whole summer and this whole May is just totally different from last year. But what I've been experiencing is kind of like a blah phase where I just can't seem to find excitement in anything, even my hobbies and my job and just some of the things that I used to love doing, especially like, doing Facebook lives and pulling cards and just being like individually intuitive and practicing my spirituality just hasn't been on the forefront, which is in which is really weird and really kind of disturbing. And because I was scared, like I'm like, did I lose something? Am I gonna like, did I do something wrong? Did I make the wrong decision? Am I regretting it somehow? So I was just like super over analyzing what I was feeling and why. And finally, like spirit was just like, you know what, Tanya, like you've been and I'll get to that, but like this is what they said. They said you've been in a hypervigilant state of mind and body for so long, even when I was younger, like even before I've been married, because my husband and I have been married for 25 years. And so even before that, I was always in a hyper vigilant fight or flight state of mind, always waiting for the shoe to drop. And once I did my healing when we were separated and really got honest with myself and was ready to like let shit go and heal it, now it's kind of like, yeah, like, some things are going to kind of feel boring. And comment on here if like you've ever gone through, a breakup and then you got back together, or you had a bad relationship, and then when you started dating again, like what was different about each relationship, and were you like trusting the new relationship? Is like, were you trusting that, oh, this is too good to be true, therefore it isn't? So like you kind of are in that, what do they call it, like imposter syndrome. I was, do you actually deserve to like be that happy and that blessed? So why I want to talk about this topic tonight is because I know that I am not the only one. I have a really close friend of mine, and this is so weird because last May she's younger than I. She's like 30 years younger than me. And last year at the same time, she was going through a breakup, and we got really close. And because I was going through my own type of separation breakup. And then now she has a new boyfriend. And hello, Dee. Now she has a new boyfriend this May, and Travis and I, my husband and I, are back together. And so we've been discussing like what we've been feeling, and it was just like, oh, the dots just connected instantly. And I'm like, okay, I don't have to panic anymore. I don't have to analyze this anymore. This is just what's happening. This is normal. This is normal. It doesn't feel normal because it feels unfamiliar for us because we are both like very panicky people. And long story short, but we both kind of got that confirmation from each other. And it was cool because it really confirmed that I wasn't going crazy and that I wasn't feeling something that I wasn't supposed to be feeling. And it was okay to feel this. And my spirit guides and my higher self have been still telling me, this is just temporary. You have been this way for so long, and now you are finally allowing yourself to feel the peace, to feel the joy, to feel the calm, just to feel the calm. And sometimes calm is boring. But they've been reassuring me that I can change the perception in my brain and allow calm to actually feel exciting. Because when we think of calm, what do we think? We think of slow, we think of quiet, we think of, peaceful and just the opposite of excitement. And they're like, no, like you've been conditioned to think that calm is not good for you. And calm means you're not productive. That's what it was. Like calm to me is like scary because it makes me think that I'm not supposed to be doing anything, but it's the total opposite. And you can still be productive and still be calm. You're just doing things in a more non-chaotic state of mind. So comment on here if you've ever felt that way. Not necessarily in a relationship per se, but um, think about a time where you were a certain way for so long, and then for whatever reason you weren't that way anymore, and then like it just felt weird. You felt like sometimes my skin feels like it's crawling because hello, Stephanie. Sometimes my skin feels like it's crawling because I think I'm grieving my old self, and it's like a snake, kind of shedding their skin, and they kind of got to just take their time and wiggle out of it. And I think that's why I'm feeling like my skin crawling physically. It just feels kind of icky and gross, and I get kind of panicky and antsy, and I have to really remember that this is all just so normal. This is normal. It's kind of icky. It's not like, it doesn't feel the best. It's uncomfortable, a little bit uncomfortable. But then I look at my life the way that things were for so long prior to how I feel now. And it's like, oh, like, okay, what I'm feeling right now, this little angst and, the unknown and being kind of feeling that blah, for lack of better words, I'm just going to call it the blah phase because that's what it feels like. It just feels like everything's just blah. Like there's no, and if you know me because like that's not me to be blah, because I like excitement. Little things turn me on. Little information, little experiences, they just light me up. And I'm just like a nerd like that with all the like stupid little things that happen. I just geek out, you know. Um and I haven't really been able to like find, that shiny geek side of myself, and it's kind of disheartening because like I know that that's a high vibrational point for me to be in, and that's what people are drawn to me. That's what they like about me, is that that kind of quirkiness and the little the playful kid in me comes out. And I can just kind of cheer people up, and I have to remember that yes, that's who I am. And I had to really kind of bitch slap myself because I had to remind myself, you're not losing any of that. It's just that you are in this state because, like my spirit guides were telling me, we need to do some serious work on you on the backside. And if you're all hairy carry and doing like all your chaotic stuff and trying to be productive, um, like you're gonna be too high vibrational, and we can't deal with the things that we need. So we need to bring you down to kind of a lower vibration where you're grounded, and it feels kind of icky to me. I'm getting used to it now just because I know that I have to go through this. Like it's inevitable. It's inevitable. I know that I have to vibrate at a lower frequency. And it just feels weird because like I'm always kind of, high vibration. But they need me to be in this lower vibrational state so that they can integrate the healing that I did, you know, up this last year. So does that make any sense to anybody? I did take some notes. I had AI help me just because I want to stay on point, and I have so much going on in my brain, and I want to be able to deliver it in a timely fashion. We will pull cards. We are going to pull cards for each of the 5 bullet points that I think are the most important for going through this blah phase. And I'm going to promote myself. I have made in the beginning, I called it an oracle card deck, but now I think it's more inspirational card deck. It is $25, and it is in anime style. I did have AI kind of help me create the pictures, and you'll see it. And I also have the gratitude matching journal guidebook to go along with it now. So together, those are, is it? Oh gosh, I think it's 40 for the set. So if you're interested, it is on Etsy. I believe it's on Marketplace too on Facebook. And if you're local and you're in the area and you want me to, or you're not, and you just want to mail it to me and you want to pay through PayPal or Venmo, that is cool as well. Okay. So, um, so tonight's topic is all about what a lot of people are going through in relationships, but not always in relationships. And kind of I saved this for the last, but I just want to say that, you know, for me, it's in my relationship right now, but not always is it in a relationship. I wrote down that sometimes this blah stage of us waiting, the body kind of waiting for the mind, waiting for the body to trust the mind, it can happen in recovery, trauma recovery. If you've had something very traumatic happen to you, you are going to kind of go through this blah phase where the body needs to kind of process everything, what happened to you, what you saw, what you felt, what you heard. And, if it's something that's physical, like physically something bad happened to your body, you were in a car accident, or I have substance recovery down. I wrote down substance recovery. So going through like recovering from a substance, you are essentially a different person because your body no longer needs that drug. And that can feel scary, not turning to those things that you knew before would get you that high. And now you have to use yourself, and now you have to find outside resources. And so I can't imagine, like, I don't have that problem, and I'm grateful that I don't, but I can't imagine somebody in this phase, like in this blah phase, trying to sort it all out and then trying to handle their addictions on top of it. No, we all have like mental addictions, because for me, I think my addiction was over analyzing, and just constantly waiting for the shoe to drop. I think I was so used to being in that state of mind that for me to be in any other state of mind it would make me sober. So, like, I think that's what my addiction, if you wanna, like, compare the 2, is like my body was constantly feeding for that fix, that chaos. Well, if I don't have chaos, then I don't feel calm, or I don't feel stable, or I don't feel like I'm productive. So it's crazy once you think about it. And me and my husband have had these conversations like so many times because he's like the polar opposite of like that side. Um, he doesn't overanalyze like I do and constantly, wait for the shoe to drop. And so but we do talk about it. He does understand that this is going to take some time for me to allow my body and my brain to kind of integrate together and to do that. So I can't imagine somebody going through this blah phase and then still trying to like heal, you know, physically from an addiction. So um know that you're not alone. If this, I'm going to talk a lot about my experience in my relationship, but I want you to know that you're not alone. So like I think this video and this information and what we talk about and what I share can be helpful for almost anyone. That's my point. Okay. The blah phase is where the mind understands things are getting better, but your body still feels stuck, waiting, guarded, numb, restless, or sometimes emotionally flat. Sometimes healing doesn't feel exciting at first. And what I have learned is that it's a preconceived notion of what it's supposed to feel like. So after me and my husband decided to stay together and to get back together and go to counseling and work on all the stuff that we learned while we were separated, I was, hello, Lisa. I was disappointed. The word I'll use is disappointed because I thought that there was going to be all these butterflies and just wonderful feeling and I thought it was going to be reciprocated and then it was like when it wasn't and then it was like and I didn't even feel that myself really. And so it was like, okay, did I make the wrong decision? Because I'm not feeling all this. And spirit's like, no, we're showing you what healthy, real, loving relationship feels like. And sometimes it's not Hollywood. Most of the time, it's calm, it's stabilized, it's making a quirky joke at dinner or making supper together. It's the little things. And truly, I think I maybe was fantasizing hard about what our relationship should have looked like, that maybe I was ignoring all those little things. So now I've kind of changed my point of view on what, how I show love, how he shows love, how I want to receive it. And so now it's kind of like I'm really enjoying the little things. And we were separated for so long. I didn't have any of those things from anybody. And I could only give them to myself. And so now all those little things that aren't so, grand and they just don't make my heart just drop. It does make my heart look, feel good. It feels good. And I had to get over that mindset that everything new in this relationship now has to feel great because it doesn't. Good is good. Good can feel great. And it's hard, folks. Like it's hard to think differently about stuff. And I know that I had to. I know that I had to. I know that I had to think, hello, Travis. I know that I had to think differently about the relationship in order for me to even comprehend what it was, because I'm sure there was things that I was numb about, and just to be mindful of the things that it was going to be and that it is. So like living in the moment. Um so the bullet point number 1 is your body may still be in survival mode. And so in order for you to kind of get past that blah phase and get to really allow your body to feel the peace, to feel the calm, you kind of have to sit in it. And I'm getting used to kind of sitting in it. It doesn't always make me feel uncomfortable. It did for a while, and I think the most uncomfortable part of it was not really knowing why I was feeling like this. I thought I was in denial. I thought maybe I was regretting my decision of us getting back together because it's, in my mind, it was supposed to feel like all bells and whistles and blah, 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 and so much passion and excitement. And it didn't, and it doesn't. But I realize now, like, it doesn't have to, and that's not really what I want, and that's not really what I need. And so I guess I had to kind of like coat ego a little bit and just remind her that, this was the way that we looked at love before, and now we're looking at love the way that it really is. Like, it's in front of us. It's real. It's not Hollywood. It's not in the past. It's not in the present. It's like right here, right now. Um, and in survival mode, you can still be kind of how I want to describe it. It's kind of like being in a limbo, kind of in two places at the same time. So like you're looking at you're kind of feeling like your old self. And when that comes forward, it feels kind of antsy, like little triggers. And then you kind of have to kind of sit in it and just go, okay, like, what is this? What happened? What was said? Why am I feeling this way? Or there's emotional exhaustion. You could just be so depleted from being so emotional and all the emotions that you're dealing with that now you're just exhausted. And the body just has to tap out and go like, you know what? You can't be excited or sad about anything right now because you're just depleted. You're just burned out. And then there's the nervous system distrust, where it's kind of like almost I would say like your intuition has to take a little time out and you have to kind of just wait for your discernment to kind of come back and relearn itself, if that makes any sense. That's the word that's coming to my mind. And the body remembering pain the body remembering pain longer than the mind. And the body keeps the score. If you've ever read that, comment on here. It is on my list of books to read. The body keeps the score. And that's where we store our emotions. That's where we store our trauma. And the body will remember before the mind. It will. And so the question that I have that you guys can answer here that would be great is, have you ever prayed for things to finally get better, and when they did, your body still couldn't fully relax? That is a huge mindset that even I had tonight about a different topic other than my relationship. And me and my husband were kind of talking about it, and I'm like, why am I feeling this way? And he said it. And even before I said it out loud, I knew the answer. And he said exactly it. I'm like, okay, perfect. That's confirmation. And it's like, because what's happening is because something that you've asked for so long, and now you're actually getting it. And now it's scary because you never thought that this would happen. And now what you manifested or what you dream of is now coming true. And it's scary because now we actually have to step into it. And to wish for something is always fun, but there's no responsibility and there's no disappointment if it doesn't turn out the way that you are thinking of it, because it's not there. But once your dreams and your manifests actually start happening and they're right in front of you, and you get to be on that threshold of the edge of going, okay, am I just going to stay here and just watch the opportunity and just wish that I'm in that opportunity? Or are you actually going to like step into the opportunity? And that's where I'm at with another like circumstance in my life is I just need to just close my eyes and step into this new opportunity because I've been wishing for it for like so long. Let's pull a card. And hopefully this is already half hour. I want to get through all 5. But I'm a talker, you guys. Let's pull a card. And then I'll be faster talking about the next bullet points. And probably I've already talked about most of them, so. But I do want to pull cards because this is important. Opportunity. Oh my gosh, we were just talking about that. So this confirms that what we were just talking about. Can you see it on here? The opportunity card. The opportunity card. So it's interesting because of what I just said about wishing and wanting something for so long, and then you finally get it and it either doesn't bring the excitement that you thought it did, or now you no longer want it. So is it that you're scared of actually stepping into that opportunity, or is it just the thrill of wishing for it? So that is answer that question. Okay. Bullet point number 2, peace can feel boring after chaos. And that's because we are just getting used to emotional intensity, mistaking calmness for lack of love, or missing adrenaline instead of missing the person. Um, yeah. So when you're always got that high, I don't even know if it's dopamine. It's probably it's adrenaline. I don't think it's dopamine. But when you are always in like hyper flight, um, and you're always in that state, in for and then when you finally kind of heal yourself and you're in a different state of mind where like stuff feels calm and stuff doesn't bother you anymore, and you don't have the anxiety, and things just kind of like roll off your back, and it's it's kind of scary because we catch ourselves when we're in the middle of the moment. We catch ourselves going, well, this kind of pisses me off that I'm not pissed about this. And it's like, okay, so Elizabeth April has a book and it's called Your Anxiety is Giving Me Anxiety. Check it out. I have not checked it out. It's on my list. But for a while there, I didn't have any anxiety. And it was like weird because for so long, I was so used to the way that my physical body would feel during anxiety. And then when I didn't have anxiety, it was almost like my body was craving that because it was familiar, and I knew how to navigate through it and around it, and I knew how to function it and still be high vibrational. It wasn't healthy, it was toxic. It was depleting, lots of energy in my body, and like hurting my organs and my joints, behind the scenes. And so it was like, "Oh, I don't have anxiety. Okay, that's giving me anxiety." So it's just like, "Oh my god," I'm like, "I can't believe that I'm actually allowing myself to even, like, miss the anxiety." But it's real. It is real. It does go away. It has for me. I can laugh about it now, but it is serious because what we've had for so long, even though it's toxic, our body craves it because it's familiar. And what is familiar? Familiar is easy. New is scary, and sometimes the unknown, and we just kind of want to like stay here instead of stepping into it. The question I want to ask for that is, do you think sometimes we mistake emotional chaos for passion because it's what our nervous system got used to? Yes. I can vouch for that. It was like the Hollywood head, I call it. When we're in our Hollywood head and we emotionalize and fantasize about how we think we should feel or how we want to feel, when really we should just be accepting how we actually feel. And if it's this way, if it's exciting or if it's not, if it's blah, if it's calm, we just, it's, it is what it is. And that's kind of when you're in the thick of it and you're not quite figuring out like how you really feel, that can be scary because you need to sit down and go, okay, I'm going to like ask myself, how do I really feel about this? Okay. Let's pull a card for that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna roll through the last 3 just because I want to keep this under an hour. I don't see any comments here on all messages are visible, but I'm not seeing remember to guard. Come on. Where's the chat with me here? I'm not seeing it. I hope that the YouTube is live. I'm not sure. Oh, it's got to be because the counter is going. So I'm on YouTube, guys, too. So as of right now, I'm doing Facebook and YouTube at the same time. We'll see what the comments are afterwards. I'm not seeing any here. Just a second. I am not seeing moderation activity will be shown. I am not sure how to view the comments on YouTube. I wish I did, because then I could see. But I'm new to this YouTube live. Okay. So let's pull cards for peace can feel boring after chaos. Surrender. The surrender card. It is number 33. See it over here? See it over here? That's an interesting card for this because, you know, you kind of have to. This card goes very well with all the other bullet points, but sometimes you just have to kind of go, I don't know what this is. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm not quite sure what to do about it. Hello, John. And the best thing to do is just to surrender and give it to God, your source, or just go put your hands up and be like, I don't know what this is. I don't know why I'm feeling. I don't really want to analyze it, but I just I don't know what to do right now. And surrendering is the probably the best and only solution that you can do right there if you're in that thick of it. Okay. Did you answer the question? Okay. Bullet point number 3. Healing can create a strange blah phase. And that's what this video is all about. Talk about emotional flatness, relationship burnout, feeling disconnected from old passions, and waiting for emotional aliveness to return. And that can feel scary because it can feel like you're not yourself anymore, and you can it to me it felt like I was doing something wrong. I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't, I wanted to do lives and I just was like, I don't want to. Or I wanted to, do more craft things and it's like I just didn't want to. And I felt guilty. Guilt set in and I had to kind of just get honest with myself and surrender and be like, okay, I had to allow myself to accept that I don't want to. I didn't want to do Facebook lives. I didn't want to do the crafty things. And I just, there was days where I just didn't want to do anything. I wanted to just be on my phone and watch stupid videos. And that's not like me because I would rather be productive. And I had to just kind of sit in all that. And now that I understand why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, it is becoming easier to kind of navigate those moments when I do get like kind of really low and be like, okay, like this is the blah again. Cause now I'm kind of like, now that I understand what it is and why I'm feeling it, I can kind of like my spirit guides were like, you just need to soft push right now. You don't need to launch. You don't need to be like over productive and over creative and, do a whole bunch of movement with your body or your mind or whatever, but like just soft push. So like once, I started working out again. So like definitely the soft push is kind of hard for me because I haven't worked out in a long time. Like when I say workout, I mean like I am packing my bag, I'm actually changing clothes and I'm going to a gym. I'm doing all that and I have not done that in a long time. And it actually kind of gave me anxiety when I was there for the first time a couple weeks ago and I'm like, oh my God, this feels weird. I'm putting on a sports bra. I'm putting on my bandana. Like that's my signature when I used to work out all the time was this bandana. I'd put my bandana on and I have this sweat belt and I have the headphones and it was just like kind of putting on, I felt like Iron Man when he puts on all this stuff and he becomes that different person. And I'm like, you know what? I'm putting all this stuff on that used to be me. And I used to like that's how I used to like get kind of pumped up and I'm like it did absolutely I shouldn't say absolutely nothing for me, but I didn't need any of that. Like I didn't need that. But I guess I was so used to this is the way that I used to work out. Hello, Kathy. I thought that this is the way that I have to do it now so that I can get right back. I can get back into it. And it's like I put the headband on, I put the sports bra on, I put the shoes on, I put the clothes on, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't like any of this. My clothes are too tight. The sports bra is too tight. The sweat belt is in the wrong spot. It doesn't fit the way that it used to. And I was like, "You know what? I don't even need to go to this extreme to just move my body. I could come here and just, like, do the treadmill, whatever, in jeans and a sweatshirt after work." Like, I don't have to go through everything that I used to have to do to, like, really kinda get in the mood, and it's just like, I looked in the mirror when I was dressing, and I'm like, "You know what, Tanya? You're here. You're here right now. This is the farthest that you've ever gone in years to a gym. You're here right now. This is all that matters. Even if you don't even get on a machine, you're here in the gym. You have the intent. So like the next time I did do a workout. I did do a workout. I did. And I felt really good that night and the next day. But it was just like it was that preconceived notion of like we think that we have to do things in order to, like, feel the way that we used to feel. It's like, "No, I know that I'm gonna feel differently when I work out. I know that it's gonna take me longer. I'm not in the shape that I was." So, there's my rant. Um, have you ever gone through a season where even the things you normally love didn't hit the same emotionally? And that was my rant about that just answered my question, what I said about the working out. Bullet point number 4, the mind moves faster than the body. This is an interesting topic that I had to learn, um, after we did some hallucinogens, and because when you open your mind up through, with either mushrooms or any type of hallucinogen or any type of healing at all, even, just meditating, you open up that portal and you have to kind of wait for your spiritual side to catch up with your human side. And the spiritual side is always going to be a little bit faster because it's just high vibrational and it's in that side, it's on the veil side, it just is. Okay? Trust me, it just is. And then you have the human body which has, we have to let things marinate and integrate, and we have to let it kind of go through the bloodstream, and we have to let it go through the brain. We have to like kind of, take a couple days to kind of go, what the heck just happened to me? And you know we have to wait for all those things to sink, and it takes time. It takes time, and that's why you kind of feel that's why I kind of feel where I'm in 2 places at the same time. It feels wonky. Like, sometimes I'll wake up feeling this way, and then it's like I'll get to work, and then I'll, like, shift, and then I'll shift again in the afternoon, and then before I go to bed. It's just weird. It's just I'm getting used to it because now I understand what's going on. I know that I'm not going crazy, and I know that I'm not continuously being triggered. It kind of feels like it just because it's just a way of like my ego kind of remind she's finding her place again. And because it feels unfamiliar, she's going to act up. It's just like a little kid, they act up and you know when they're trying to protect us. The ego wants to protect us, and if there's nothing to protect, then they feel like they're not doing their job. um let's see. The mind moves faster than the body. The brain understanding before the nervous system trusts, learning safely, slowly, and rebuilding trust through consistency, not pressure. Okay, so this consistency part is huge because if you are under any type of traumatic duress, and that's the way you've always been for so long, the best thing to do for your nervous system to feel safe and your ego is consistency and if get into a routine. All right, even if it's just one small thing, do it consistently and let your body feel what that feels like. Routine is going to help with the consistency, because once you can get your body accustomed to like doing that at that time of the day, whatever it is, it does help. And just consistency is the key to just feeling safe in a relationship. You need consistency from both parties. All right. Um, it does help with the trust issues. Having that consistent safety and that consistent healthy reciprocation that your body needs, to feel that love again, and to feel that safety, and to know that what your partner is saying and doing is authentic and is real. It's been difficult for me to not question it. And I feel now, because of where we've been for the last 6 months, um, I think my body is responding to his consistency, and I think he is responding to my consistency. Um, and that helps. It does help. I feel like what I'm going through now, and talking about it with him, I feel like it's helping us both understand of how detrimental, like, our childhood and everything that happened to us up to, the last whatever, 4 years. I think we're realizing and, appreciating everything that had happened, even the bad stuff. All right, let's pull a card on that. So the question is, what part of your life right now feels safe in your mind, but your body still struggles to fully trust? Ooh. Somebody answer that. What part of your life feels safe in your mind, but your body still struggles to fully trust? Um, I guess because I know that my body isn't fully trusting it, I'm kind of getting better at realizing when my body doesn't trust it. I guess it's just knowing that we made the decision to stay together, and that, you know, not having the chaos all the time, it does feel good. It does feel good. For me, sometimes, um, I'll get triggered by little things, but then I can quickly acknowledge it. I'm aware of, oh, I just got triggered. Well, before I wasn't realize I was triggered until frickin', halfway into me exploding about something that bothered me or whatever. So I guess awareness. I guess I'm still trusting my awareness of, oh, this is how I'm perceiving it, when really it's not happening that way. Survival. Interesting. Survival. Been in survival for so long that, like alcoholics, they survive on having that fix for so long that they don't know anything else. They, like trying to stay out of a bar, or trying to find a different set of friends, because if all their friends were alcoholics, that would be hard. That would be hard to heal from an addiction and try to trust your nervous system all over again. That's like, okay, I will be okay without a drink. I will be okay. I won't die. But can you imagine what that feels like to an alcoholic or a substance abuser that thinks that they need that fix? I mean, I realize that all of us have our fixes and our addictions. Not all of them are chemical dependent, but I can't imagine how hard that would be to choose to give that up for whatever reason, and then allow your body to not have it, you know? Well, try giving up something that you really love. Try giving up pop, or I guess I do know how it feels because I did smoke and I gave up smoking. And I thought that I had to smoke. I thought that it helped me with my anxiety, and actually it made it worse. These last couple of years that I did smoke, since I started back up with COVID, I realized it made my anxiety worse. And so, you know, not having, like, I would go out for break. Okay. So now I'm not going out for break. Now I'm not talking to those people that also smoke. Okay. All right. So why am I talking to them? Why am I associating? Because we're smokers. We did nothing else besides smoke together. And I thought I'm not going to have these people in my life. They're smokers. You do nothing else with them besides smoke. It's just weird. It was a weird feeling to know that I'm not going to smoke with these people, because I smoked a lot. I smoke at work. I smoked at work. And it was weird knowing that I'm not going to smoke with these people. I'm not going to talk to them. We're not going to, like, converse about the day, or what's going on in our lives. But I didn't do anything else with them. I did not, they weren't my friends. I didn't talk to them outside of work or in a text or even Facebook friends. Like, it was just smoking friends, my smoking friends. But it's weird that I was so scared to lose that. It's so, like, I think I can now understand, what that's like to give up, being an alcoholic and not knowing, or going, okay, like, if I don't drink, what am I going to do with my life? I go to the bar and that's where I socialize. Okay, so do you talk to those people outside of the bar? You got to kind of wonder, why am I friends with those people? You know, that's my rant. Bullet point number 5: soft pushes, not force. Gentle movement forward, allowing healing instead of forcing it, and staying engaged in life even when motivation is low, and letting joy slowly return naturally. This one is something that I am just starting to kind of embrace now, is staying engaged in life even when the motivation is low. And that's what I was talking about before, when my spirit guides were just like, soft push. You just need to push yourself a little bit to kind of test the waters and see, and just gauge, where am I at? Where am I at right now? Can I see if you can push? If you push and you get resistance, then obviously the push was too much and you go back to ground zero. But if you give it a little push and you're like, oh, you know what? That felt good. That felt safe. I think I might push that again sometime. Not right away, not the next day or whatever, but you know, slow, slow, soft pushes. Right now, there's 3 things that I'm doing in my physical life. I am getting more water, I am getting more protein, and I'm getting more movement. I am in this, like, fitness program for women over 40. She hasn't launched it yet, but she's piloting a bunch of clients. And honestly, I think just having that focus on something physical to do with soft pushes, and just trying to get more things, to get some real sustainable benefits in my life, with the more movement, the more water, and the more protein, is helping my hormones and helping my joint pain and my sleeping and my mood, and I'm trying to stay consistent with it, because I know that my nervous system needs consistency right now. And we're not doing anything more than that in this fitness challenge. We are not doing workouts, we're not tracking calories. And so comment on here if you're interested in that, and I will send you her way. I don't know when she's going to launch it, but it's really coming together, and she's had a lot of good luck with the um, pilot beta beta clients that she's had. So the question for that one is, the bullet point number 5 is, what's one small thing you can do this week to reconnect with yourself without pressuring yourself to feel amazing? That is such a good question. What's one small thing you can do to reconnect with yourself without pressuring yourself to feel amazing? Maybe it's just, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go for a walk. I'm just going to go for a walk. I don't really care where I'm going to go, how far. I'm just going to go for a walk. I'm just going to, or I'm just going to sit in my yard and watch. I'm just going to sit here and just be still in my yard and see what I can see. Just like be observant of nature and listen to the birds and see like what, just be out in nature and just watch and observe. Like nature has so many messages and so many signs that we don't see because we're just so busy doing other things. We need to go outside and appreciate nature. And my closing, I'll pull another card, but the closing is you're not broken. Your nervous system is simply recalibrating after for surviving for too long. Sometimes healing looks like fireworks and more like slowly teaching your body that it's finally safe to soften. If you have any other questions and you want to talk more about my experience with this and you feel like you're having the same kind of experience, reach out. I'm here for you. I'm here for anybody that just maybe wants to talk. I don't have all the answers, but I've been through a lot, and I feel like I do these lives because they're therapeutic for me, but I know that I'm not the only one going through this. And that's what's super important is, as a collective, we need to be there for each other, because what maybe you're going through, maybe you can give me some perspective and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can, like, it feels so good to know that I'm not alone, but like maybe what your advice would help me and my advice would help you. I'm going to pull one more card because we're doing good. I did a little soft push. Getting ready for the long Memorial Day weekend. I'm ready to have some extra days to do whatever I want. What is up with this card? Okay, here's the last card. It is healing. Number 31. Okay, and I'm going to read from the book for this one, because you notice how she's like holding her heart in her hand. Oh, and there's like the clock. Like, it takes time. Oh, can you see the clock in this one? There is a clock. There it is. See the clock? It takes time. We have to be patient. Healing doesn't always happen as fast as we want it to, because if we force it, we might be healing it too fast and it might not heal the way that it's supposed to heal. Okay. Closing message for tonight. In order to heal, we first must feel. This is essential. As physical beings, we have so many outside resources and influences that compromise our free will, and we self-distract and self-sabotage by allowing our egos to control our thoughts. And then we wonder why we have such pain and discomforts and have trouble focusing and sleeping and making decisions. We allow ourselves to be numb. Love and light cannot grow in this type of environment. Self-awareness will help you recognize how you feel and the connection with your actions. Be in the now. Embrace each moment. Accept more. Expect less. Watch the momentum start to flow naturally and effortlessly. This is when true self-healing happens. That is such a powerful, nice closing message for what we discussed about tonight. So if anybody is feeling blah, regardless of what they're healing from, just know that it's temporary and that there's probably something that you could be doing maybe just a little differently. And maybe you just need to push yourself out of the funk a little bit or sit in it. There's two ways. You can sit in it. Don't sit in it too long. Don't sit in it too long. Sit in it as long as you need to get the message, to get the motivation. And like if you're in the phase that I am in, I'm sitting in it, but I'm also embracing that I'm sitting in it. So that is starting to feel a lot better. I'm accepting that this is where I am. It's kind of like when you have an injury and like, oh, fuck, I know why I did it, or maybe you didn't know why I did. Maybe it just happened. But it's kind of like when you get an injury and you're like, okay, there's really, if I push too much, it's either going to heal wrong and I'm going to do more damage, or if I push it too far, it's going to take me longer to heal. So sit in it and let it heal the way that it needs to heal, and trust and surrender and allow and let go. Love and light, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you later.